Welcome back, nerds and nerdettes. We're at it again with another Save the World tutorial video. Today we're going over traps, how to properly set them up to maximize your damage. I see a lot of people set them up in game and they're not making the most of their traps. You have to use a lot of materials to make these, so let's make sure they work for you. If the video helps you out, smash that like key. We do stream on Facebook Gaming. Stop in one of our streams where we're doing Save the World now. If you enjoy the video, you're having fun, you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe key. Turn those notification bells so you don't miss any of our videos. Let's check this out. Alright, we're going to start with some of the basic traps here. You got your defender traps. These can be costly, but they can be very beneficial. What you do is you basically pick a defender, and then you pick the gun you want to give them, and then you pick the amount of ammo. And then you set them up on the platform, and then they can walk within a tile around when you're doing defenses and things like that. So you can set them up there and they can shoot down there. The snipers are the best ones. I don't recommend any of the other ones. The ARs maybe, but that's probably your best option, to put them up on these areas when you're doing long defenses. So that's one trap. Your healable trap is just what it is. You walk over the trap, it heals you for a percentage depending on your level. I just crafted a 26. I didn't do one of the high ones. But same basis, you walk over it, it heals you when you need it. You got your boost pads. This will send you in a straight direction when you're on your hoverboard. And you'll see right here how it has a little hoverboard. So I'll pull mine out real quick. You go over these, and it shoots you across. So not something you're going to use very common. These are jump pads. So if you're a ninja, you can double jump off them. So you can get some pretty good height. If you're doing like certain missions and someone builds 2 tiles high and you can't get up, this is kind of one of those ones that you can get up there. It helps you reach a little bit higher if some people build a little bit higher, which is normal in some cases. These are great for movability. Mobility, movability, whatever you want to say. You don't have to use a lot of these, but if you have a few of these together, say you're like you're doing a constructor class and you don't got a lot of movability, you pop these down, you can kind of bounce around wherever you want to go. If you do them in a straight line, you can go from here to here and just keep going. Oh, storm. So these are basically those are good for just getting around the map. They're really cheap to make, but that's what those are for. So those are directional bounce pads. So whatever way you go, they'll send you that direction. Now these are a few different wall traps. You got your wall darts. These shoot projectiles straight across whatever angle you're facing. These are good for oncoming attacks, or if they're a last line of defense, to face them out. So if something's coming through a trap tunnel, they'll actually catch the tail end of them. Usually will have enough damage if you build the trap tunnel properly. If you want to do some early damage, they're walking towards you. Husker coming this way, it shoots at you. That's a great one. Then you got your impact. Concussion, which is your sound bar. When they walk close to it, it starts playing music. Once the music starts playing, they start dancing. They take a little impact, move around. It's a quick stun. It's actually pretty beneficial. Not the worst trap. I've actually never really took them into consideration when using them, but they have some benefits to them inside of front lines, things like that. This is an impact. What this will do is it'll do some damage and it'll knock the targets back. I'm going to show you a couple great ways to set these up properly. If you're not doing a full trap tunnel, there's a couple ways to make these beneficial to you, not just putting them because you feel like putting them against a wall. These are a stun. They'll flash, they do no damage, but it dazes them. So if you have like a high trap tunnel, or if you have something underneath, or you need to reload, this is a good way to stall them. Then you got your wall spikes. As you're hitting the walls will do damage back at the target. So if a husk is punching this wall and hitting it over and over, these will hit them back. This is the broadside. The broadside is one of my favorite traps in the game. These will shoot projectiles. They will bounce off an object and then go bounce back. If you put a broadside facing in the middle of nowhere like this, they will shoot to infinity, and they will only hit them once. And these are wall dynamos. Wall dynamos are electric field. They're actually pretty useful. This is what I meant by broadsides. You put a broadside on one side, 1 to 2 tiles away. You can go 3. 1 to 2 tiles is recommended. These will bounce back and forth off of each other, and everything in this area will take damage over and over from the balls bouncing back and forth. Never put these facing nowhere. They have to bounce off a wall or another broadside or anything at all to put something here. These are the best use of these, hands down. Now, a couple of floor trap options. You have your wooden spikes, which when they walk over there, they take damage and it slows them down. So all the husks coming in here will be slow. They'll take damage from gas traps, from wall dynamos. These are freeze traps. A lot of these are from when I originally set up Canny, so they're all 51s. So obviously you'll see I have higher ones. But that's besides the point. Husk will come in here. These have so many uses. They have 31 uses, but each time you use it, it will freeze everything in its path. So if 10 husks come over here and it freezes 10 husks, that counts as 1. Then the broadsides will do their job. Then I have wall traps, or ceiling traps, which I'm going to show you in a second because people mess those things up all the time. Now, tar pits have 45 uses, but the problem with tar traps is every time a husk does this, and a second one, and a third one, each time counts as a use. These are great for the end of a tunnel. If a smasher tries to go all the way through, it will stop them. Smashers can get stuck on freeze traps, but once they're unfrozen, they will continue to run. This will stop them from running completely. So these can save a tail end of a base. Don't put them in the front. They'll wear out fast. So put them in the back of a base if you're doing like a trap tunnel. Put them in the rear. Floor spikes, they'll do damage. Realistically, I just put these down to show you, but this is really not the best trap to use. They're great for... Oh, here we go. Day 1. These are great for early game stuff. If you're just tossing some stuff down, you want to do some quick damage. Not a big deal. Same with these. Flame grills. When I first got them, I thought they were the greatest thing. And then I started using them. I realized these two are pretty hot trash. These don't do the damage that the broadsides, the tires, the wall dynamos, the gas traps all do so much damage. These really aren't useful. You're better off freezing, using wooden spikes if this is the cheapest way you want to go. Throw a couple of those on the ground so you don't have to use any of this. Freeze traps are expensive, but they are unbelievably they're very much worth it. They're much gooder, more gooder. All right, and the last one of the other traps is campfire here. You can do a cozy campfire. These are much better for healing you than healing pads because you can pop 2 of these down at a time, and each tick is worth a whole bunch more health if you have 2 of these next to each other. So when it comes to ceiling traps, the electric field, this one right here, should be always 2 tiles high for maximum damage. I have seen people put them 1 tile high. I've seen people put them 3 tiles high. 2 is the ideal. It does the most damage. Then you get your ceiling zapper can be 1. Your gas trap can be 1. These 2 don't have to be too high. They'll actually lose damage. Put these at 1. Put that at 2. The tire traps. This should be 1, 2 tiles high. This should never be lower than 2. 2 is the minimum. I have seen people in running dungeons, running things and putting them right here. They fall once, and that's it. Damage done. Here, when they fall, they will bounce up and down, doing double damage, sometimes triple. I have some tunnels that have these 3 high. 3 high is really good. I don't use it all the time, depending on the type of mission or the area that I'm covering. So these can be 2. Really, 3 is the best. It just depends on your setup. Always 1, always 2. All right. Now with floor launchers. Floor launchers can be useful, especially in stall tunnels, things like that. You're going to want to have it set up so if they come over here and it launches them, you have a ramp overhead. This way it launches them into the ramp and then shoots them out that way. Floor launchers are good. They're not the end-all be-all, but they are pretty helpful. There are some pretty good techniques and things you can use with them. Your anti-air traps in one of the missions here in Canny, they come over this edge. Sometimes there's throwing. They'll throw, gas canisters, the explosion canisters. They'll come over this edge here. They'll throw bones, or they'll try to throw. They'll have the little glitcher guys try to throw the husk over. These anti-air traps shoot them out of the sky. Protects a lot of your high-end bases from taking top damage down. A lot of the flingers, lobbers, whatever they're called, these help out with those. So these are actually pretty useful depending on the mission you're running. So some examples of how the wall pushers work. Say you have a horde of husks coming up here. This is a ledge. This ledge is leading up to, a flat area here, which is like this, a defensive area. A good way to stall them is these will hit, knock them out this way, especially if you're on a ledge. These are really useful if you're near a cliff, like the edge of the world kind of thing. Once these hit them and knock them off the edge, they come this way, say, for example. If they fall off the map, they're eternally dead. So those are really good, useful techniques for the wall launchers. People don't utilize these the best. I've seen them used, but they're not used properly. These are the really good stall technique. If you have them in here, places like this, this will punch them into here. It's called the timeout box. So they'll walk down here. They'll get punched. They'll go in here. They'll slow down with the spikes. They got the broadsides. They got darts. They got ceiling traps. Nothing's coming out of this. And if they, if this is reloading and a couple get by, this one knocks it in. And I have 4 of them, 5 of them. They're really never going to get past those points. But this is a good, what they call a timeout box. It pops them in here, stalls them. So you could set traps like this where you have maybe your obstacle down there. That needs to be where they're going. And then you just set up a tunnel full of these and it's like boom, boom, boom. And then by the time these are unloaded, you reload them, they go back in here again. So these really help stall bases out. I'll show you a couple cool tricks with some of the other pieces too. So you could do something like this, where it slows them down here. You got wall dynamos, wall darts. Wall darts will shoot over. They'll get hit here. They'll get sent back. This side, they'll do the same thing. The darts go all the way across, so even with the dynamos here, this is actually a cool little tactic to shoot over them. The dynamos will do damage. This will slow them down. They'll get bounced back. And then they'll have to go through again. So depending on how you have it set up, you can do that. One thing with Husk, they will never go. Their job is to go the slowest route possible. So if they're coming this way down this hill, say, they won't go all the way around here and go in. They're going to look for the quickest path. They won't go more than 3 tiles. So if it's 3 tiles, that will stop them. That will direct them here if the objective is back there. The objective's over there, it's different. But objective's back here. They're not going to go through here. You might have 1 or 2, maybe down this end that spawn that try to break the walls. But that's it. So you want to kind of trap them and force them one direction. If you go 4 tiles out and they're way down here spawning, they're going to go through the path of least resistance. They are going to come through here and start breaking your walls and working your way through. So that's really how trapping works. That's how the traps themselves work. The best way to set them up. I have different waves. I can pretty much, I'm on, I think, 5 or 6 right now. And I've shot maybe 5 or 6 bullets. They come through a trap tunnel there. I have a guard there. I have a recycler here which shoots them out the launcher. I have stuff down here for traps. I have trap tunnels here where if they come down, They go under here. They get double hit. This is kind of 2 tiles because of where they get hit from. Then they have the gas. A recycler shoots them back down, hits the wall. Then they're back here again, going again. So there's different ways of doing this. There's a lot of different traps, a lot of different techniques. Yeah, let's move this. I like this better like that. Shoot them down. And by the way, these will roll downhill. So if they hit here and they roll, they'll do more damage to anything back here as well. That's pretty much how traps work, how trap tunnels work, different combinations, different things you can do to make it beneficial. Stop putting these facing the middle of nowhere. They're not being utilized properly. Put it here, put another wall or another broadside on the other side to maximize your damage. Floor traps are floor traps. You can figure those out. Zap tiles, try to get them 2. So this would be deemed 2 because I'm below the block. It would hit me actually right about here. And then those would hit me as well. So there's different ways you can set this up. Once again, if you have any questions, you want to come into stream, you want to see how things are done, you want to run a couple games, let me know. I've met a couple great people on here, and I'd be happy to help out more. Until the next one, see you guys.